Hello learners, welcome to Unacademy. I am Praneeth. I am currently pursuing my BTech in Computer Science and Engineering department at IIT Bombay. I have secured All India Rank 47 in JEE Advanced 2020 and All India Rank 32 in JEE Mains 2020. The main motto behind my success is add at your life. A means attitude, D means dedication, and the other D means determination. These are the ingredients for the recipe of success story of any person. Before moving into our topic, let me explain to you the packages provided by Unacademy. Unacademy Plus package provides you unlimited access to live classes taught by very good professors and weekly tests which you can take and assess yourself, and also structured courses. There is a better package provided by Unacademy called the Iconic package. You'll be getting all the features provided by the Plus package and also extra personal guidance and test analysis. These will be one-on-one guidance from top exam experts. You'll be taking the weekly test and you'll be discussing with the exam experts about your mistakes in the exam. And also you'll be getting study booster workshops by exam experts along with study materials. By study materials, I mean specialized notes and practice sets. Also, you'll be having a study planner. You'll be given a study planner because the study planner is the most important thing for an aspirant. The study planner will be a customized study plan with bi-weekly reviews. While subscribing, please use my code MPC07. Now today's topic, exams. During exams, many people perform good, many do not. Why is there a difference between the performance? There are mainly two things. One is uh, exam strategy or exam temperament. The second is preparation. There, everyone prepares for exams, but there will be a distinguishing between good preparation and bad preparation. Today's topic is preparation. Let us see what the factors that distinguish between good preparation and bad preparation. The first factor is focus. Focus is a requirement. Focus is a requirement to perform good in exams and also to prepare well. Distractions are the main thing that are the negation of focus. Distractions are very dangerous. Our mind likes playing with us all the time. Why? What is the main reason, or what are the reasons for being distracted? One of the main reasons for this is not having proper sleep. Many people think that okay, I'll reduce. Many people reduce their sleeping time and study in that sleeping time, thinking that yes, I have studied for a more amount of time, so I have done a good work. But no, that isn't good. Studying in sleeping time is not good. Instead, reduce the other time you waste in gaming or texting and study in that time, but never reduce your sleeping time for studying. Never ever do this mistake. Let me explain to you the reason why you shouldn't do this mistake. Okay, let me get into science for a bit. There are three stages in sleeping. The first stage is a transition between staying awake and deep sleep. You'll be slowly getting into deep sleep, but you can hear what other people say. You can hear what you can understand what they are doing. You can sense everything. This is basically the sleep you get during lectures. The second stage is deep sleep. You'll be getting into deep sleep. You won't be you won't be able to listen. You won't be able to sense anything. The third stage is REM sleep. REM sleep means rapid eye movement sleep. You may have observed sometimes that when people sleep, their eyes will be moving rapidly. This implies that they are in the REM sleep stage. What REM sleep stage does is it will take in all the memories you had that day. I mean, you would have done many things on that day. It will compile all of them to a single point and then categorize them into two parts: trash and required memories. The trash memories will be discarded and the required memories will be stored in the long memory. So this is very much required for memory refreshment, and so REM sleep is very important. But you may think that okay, I'll sleep for 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, 8 hours, with in 4 parts, and another person sleeps for 7 hours continuously. I The sleeping for 7 hours continuously is better than sleeping for two. This is what I mean by 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 less than 7. Let me explain to you why this is true. Because REM sleep is the third stage. The main reason for me recommending you to sleep is to reach this REM sleep stage. If you sleep only for 2 hours, you maybe end up covering only the first stage or maximum second stage, but you'll not move on to the third stage. So you should not sleep two. You should sleep continuously so that you complete your REM completely. Now, not having proper sleep leads to loss of concentration because there will be lot of trash memory, and obviously you will be distracted towards the trash memory. So this leads to loss of concentration. Now there are certain proven remedies and well-known remedies for improving concentration, which are meditation, playing sports, doing exercise, and sleeping for 7 hours at least continuously. Continuously is very important. Now, this relaxes your mind. A relaxed mind has lesser distractions, no trash, and also you can also try listening to soft, soothing music or white noise while studying. This is scientifically proven to increase focus. All these soothing music and white noise relax your mind and filter out all the distractions. By that I mean they filter out all the trash memory. Now let us move on to the second factor, schedule. As I have already told in the beginning, schedule is very important for an aspirant. Schedule, or else it is called study planner. By schedule, I don't mean having a schedule for 1 month or having a schedule for 2 months or this sem or etc. You just need to have a schedule for that particular day. At the start of the day, to do write a to-do list for each day, and then start prioritizing the works you wrote in the list. Start prioritizing, this is the work I should do first, this is the next work, this is not so important, so I'll put it in the last. This estimation comes with experience. Start writing to-do list, start following it, and you'll soon understand, okay, I should prioritize this work more over this. This estimation comes with experience and experience only. Now, let me explain to you a simple yet complex principle called the importance urgency principle while prioritizing. The importance urgency principle is something which is as simple as prioritizing your important work more over the urgent work. Let me explain to you with an example. Let us consider your teacher gave you homework and you need to complete it by 3 p.m. say, and the time now is 12 p.m., but you also have an exam at 6 p.m., which you think you are not well prepared to. So what you need to do is prepare for the exam, because that is the important work. Though completing your homework is an urgent work, you need to complete the homework first, but preparing for exam is more important. So give the important work more preference over urgent work. Let the teacher scold you. If he scolds you, then just think it's okay, I've done an important work. Don't say to him, just think to yourself. And this is what the simple yet complex importance urgency principle is. Now, the next thing is honesty. Honesty is the best policy. All of us know that. Though you may not be honest to everyone, just be honest to yourself at least. Just think, okay, I'll be completing. If you think of completing a task, then be honest with yourself. If you have completed the task, then well done, good. But if you haven't completed the task, but you think okay, it's okay, then this is not being honest to yourself. Just be honest to yourself, complete your task, complete the task you have written, because that schedule is prepared by you but not anyone else. If anyone else has prepared the schedule and you are not able to complete the task, it's okay, but you are the one who prepared the schedule, so please complete the task. As I've already said just now, schedule preparation is not just enough. Sticking to the schedule you have prepared is very important too. While preparing the schedule, take into consideration your class timings and daily activities too. Leave this time and prepare schedule for the remaining time. In the remaining time, include sports or any other physical exercise time too, because I told you already, it relaxes mind and reduces distractions. And while preparing the schedule, leave the time in early morning to morning range for more works which need memorization. Because during the morning, the magnetic lines will be aligned and it will help more in memorizing. So put your memorization works to the morning. Also, uh, s- include all the practice sheets your institute gave you and also test series being conducted by your institute in your schedule. Now the next factor is strategy. There are two kinds of strategies: exam strategy and preparation strategy. Exam strategy, you'll be having 2 years, 2 long years to to prepare your exam strategy. You'll be taking so many test series. You'll be writing them. You'll be scoring marks. You'll be comparing yourself with yourself. You'll Then you get to decide which strategy works best. Keep on experimenting for each test. Keep on experimenting, and then you'll get to know what strategy works for you, because there is no single works for everyone. Works for everyone strategy. Now coming to the preparation strategy. No one knows what the best strategy is. I'm just going to share my strategy. By that I mean the strategy I followed for preparation. For all the subjects, maintaining handwritten notes is very important. I stress this point very much because handwritten notes is something which uh, sends information to your brain in three ways. The first way is listening, the second way is writing, the third way is seeing or watching. It will send the information to your brain in three ways. So, write handwritten notes, or what you call it, running notes, and it is very important. Also, revise these notes as many times as possible. Just writing it and putting it away is not enough. Also, revise it as many times as possible, and you'll be then getting a photograph of the paper when you are reading. This is called photographic memory. Photographic memory is not by birth, it can be developed too. And while revising or while reading for the first time, at the end of the chapter in your handwritten notes, put a heading summary and note down all the important points from the points you wrote in your notes and in the summary, so that it covers the entire chapter in 2 pages or max 3 pages, because this helps a lot when you have less time. Maybe say you're just 1 day for the exam and you need to read all topics. You don't have time to read every topic which has 30 pages 40 pages notes. So you'll just go through his 2 3 pages summary, and because you are the one who wrote this summary, you'll be having more trust, more confidence that yeah, I have covered everything. So maintain this summary and also solve all the practice sheets. Solve everything your institute gives you, practice sheets or practice books or anything. And then previous paper questions. Previous paper questions are very important. While solving previous paper questions, this gives you an idea, an instinctive idea that okay, this is the kind of question they ask. These are the kinds of question they ask. This aligns our thoughts more towards the paper setter. So please solve previous paper questions and also attending test series conducted by your institute or attending test series by any other platform or anything. This is very important because you can know where you stand. You can know okay, I need to improve, or yes, I am good. This thing is very important because running a race in which you don't know your position is not at all useful. Now let us discuss the subject wise strategies. The first subject is mathematics. In mathematics, focus more on getting your basics correct. Getting the basics correct will finally lead you to such a stage where every question in any topic, when you just look deeper into the question, you will understand that yes, this question can be solved from the basics itself. Just from the basics, you can solve a very complex question from any topic. So please get your basics right, get your strong grip on basics. And also for each and every question, obviously there are more than one way to solve. Now, while practicing, as you will have more amount of time, solve every question in all ways, all the ways you know, all the ways you can solve. You solve it in all the ways, because you'll have more time, and also it gives you experience, the experience of each and every method. Don't just stop when you get the answer from the first method itself. Solve using the second method, third method, fourth method, and so on. Solve using every method. By experience, I mean, when you see a question in the exam, then you will be able to choose the best method among all these methods to solve the question more easily, or in lesser time, or in lesser space. This is the experience you will be getting by solving in more than one ways. Don't solve in more than one ways during the exam. You choose the best method and solve it. For this solving, you need to practice, and for practice, you'll be given the practice sheets and also previous paper questions. For more practice, you can refer to online resources, because there are plenty online resources. You also have problems from provided by an academy, and also you can refer to some reference books. The reference books I recommend are Problem Book in High School Mathematics by Prilipko. You can use this book for indefinite integration. This is a great book for indefinite integration. You will be getting the topics in an instant. And the Plane Trigonometry Part 1 by S.L. Looney. This Plane Trigonometry Part 1, just solve the basic trigonometry problems from this, that will be sufficient. And Higher Algebra by Hall and Knight, everyone knows this is a good book. Solve it, that is very useful. And then next one, physics. Physics is more like an instinct. By instinct, I mean you get used to it the more you experience it. So, what physics is physics is not solving. Physics is experiencing. Experience the question. Let me make it more clear. There are only three required skills for mastering physics. Those are confidence, imagination, and basic mathematics. Confidence. Many a times you see a question in physics and you'll get scared the instant you look at the question, because the questions are big. There's a huge diagram, there's a complex diagram, there are too many variables in the question, there are too much information in the question. You'll be getting scared the moment you look at the question. Please don't get scared. It is a question, not a ghost or a line. Please don't get scared. Start the question with confidence. Start it with confidence that yes, I can solve this question. I have prepared good. I have done good. I will solve this question. This is no tough question. Start with this confidence. Then, with this confidence, we go into the next one, imagination. By imagination, I mean experiencing it. Experience the question. For example, let us consider a rolling ball, and you need to find the friction direction. And then, so for friction direction, you need to find the direction of velocity at the point of contact. For this, imagine yourself as a point of contact on the ground. Just look up, the ball is rolling, the ball is rolling. Then the direction will be this way, so this is my friction direction. And there you go, you have solved the problem just by imagination without any paperwork. Now, after getting the direction of friction, you just have some variables, you just have some equations, and that is just basic mathematics. So these are the three things, the only three things required to master physics. Starting a question is very crucial. As I've already told, start a question with confidence, don't get scared. And also, while starting a question, just write down all the information they gave you, because this information are the set of weapons you need for attacking the question. Get all your weapons ready, get all the information correct, get all noting down the information correct is also very important. Don't do such silly mistakes. Get your weapons ready before attacking the question. For this, during exam you can do this. And For doing this in exam, you need to do this while practicing too. While practicing too, please write down all the information they gave you and then go into exam. For developing basic mathematics and imagination, you can use the reference book Concepts of Physics by H.C. Verma, both parts 1 and 2. These will develop your basic mathematics and imagination. And the famous fabled book I.E. Irodo, Problems in General Physics by I.E. Irodo. This develops your confidence, imagination, basic mathematics, because this book has a very first time look scary questions. So this will develop all three of them. And as I already told, these are the only things required to master physics. Now coming to the next and final subject, chemistry. Chemistry is a tricky yet easy subject for for some people. For other people, it may be a nightmare, but you can simply convert it into a simple subject. Chemistry is divided into three divisions. Inorganic chemistry, the first division. Many people say that memory power is very important for inorganic chemistry, or else you won't be understanding or you won't be able to perform good in inorganic chemistry. This is not true. Memory power is important, but it is not the only thing required to uh, get good marks in organic chemistry. Instead of memorizing, you can understand the reason behind the topic. For example, consider the uh, order of atomic radius along down a group. You'll, instead of memorizing that it increases down the group, just understand that the number of shells increases down the group, so atomic radius increases. This will uh, boost your confidence, boost your memory too, and you'll be performing well in inorganic chemistry. There aren't many books which provide reasons, all the reasons for all the orders, etc. There are few books like Greenwood, J.D. Lee, and also this book I recommend, Inorganic Chemistry by K. Ramarao sir. This book has reasons for almost everything. You can read this book for advanced, and also make sure that you master NCRT chemistry textbooks, because the all the questions in JEE mains will be surely from the NCRT books. Not a single question will be outside the NCRT book. And for inorganic chemistry and for all the subjects, revision is very important. Next will be organic chemistry. This, in simpler terms, is the physics part of chemistry, not physical part. I mean physics part. For better understanding, this is this has the same set of principles to master it: imagination and confidence. In organic chemistry, there will be huge molecules in the questions. Just don't get scared. Just don't get scared by the names, and you'll and start imagining yourself. You are the electrophile. Your friend is a nucleophile. You're interacting. This interaction is exchange of electrons. Just imagine yourself in the reaction. Just imagine you are the H plus molecule. There is an OH minus. Your friend, you are going to interact with him. Understand what happens during the reaction instead of remembering what happens due to the reaction. By what happens during the reaction, I mean understand the reaction mechanism. Understand, yes, electrophile attacks nucleophile. No, nucleophile attacks electrophile. No, this is not an electrophile nucleophile reaction. Understand what happens during the reaction. Then you won't be required to remember what happens due to the reaction. By that I mean you won't be required to remember the products. For the mechanisms, I recommend Organic Chemistry by Leroy G. Wade. This is a very good reference book. This has everything clearly explained. The next division is Physical Chemistry. For Physical Chemistry, understand the concept. The concept is important, and try solving more and more questions and different models. There will be too many models. Try solving all the models you can. Try solving more and more of the same models and also more and more of different models. For physical chemistry, I recommend Physical Chemistry by Narendra Avasti sir. This has very good questions. This has different models of questions. Please solve each and every question in this book. That concludes That concludes our topic for today. If you felt this video was helpful, please like and share. And if you haven't yet already, please subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to ring the notification bell to get a notification when we upload new videos. Thank you. All the best.